Hey friends, this is Dolany TV. Glad to have you aboard here in the car. It's playoff time. Who knew? That's how we get things underway for game number two as the Oilers and the LA Kings renew hostilities following what was a wild game number one. Whether you want to say being positives being a fanboy or whether you want to say being negatives being pessimistic, this Edmonton Oilers team had a lot to talk about coming out of game one, and now as even Flames radio is wondering who is going to gain the edge from what was a dramatic game one in most aspects. The Oilers were terrible. There's a P and a P kind of combo of words there that I'd like to use, but I'll refrain from that language for hopefully a worse performance from the Oilers later in the playoffs. But yeah, basically the Oilers were terrible in the first 40 minutes. That did not help anything. And then they stormed on back, and whether you want to say it's this, that, or the other thing, scoring 5 goals on Darcy Kemper in 20 minutes and 5 seconds has to bode well for the Oilers. Whether it will, that's a whole nother shenanigan to itself tonight. So Flames radio down here in the Calgary area asking, oh, who holds the edge after game one, given what we saw in the tale of two halves in that hockey game? Well, we'll see what happens, but the Oilers, they're going to complicate matters tonight and add Evander, Kane, and John Klingberg into the lineup and see what those two can do for us against the LA Kings. It'll be nice. I mean, maybe, hopefully, a D-man plays more than 5 minutes tonight as the sixth, which would be John Klingberg. That said, he's coming back from injury, extended injury. It's Chris Knobloch. I don't know how much faith I put in the fact that John Klingberg will even play more than 10 minutes tonight. So that one doesn't really change things, but Evander Kane off LTIR, year-long, missed all 82 games, the preseason, everything. No conditioning stint in the AHL. He will come into the lineup tonight against the LA Kings, and it appears to be in a top 6 role. I will tell you that will be limited to about the first 3 shifts of the first period, and then Kane will probably maybe see only 7 minutes of ice time from there on out. One would at least assume, unless Kane comes back and absolutely starts dummying Kings players left, right, and center. That is the only thing here, because I've did a video this past weekend that never got uploaded because Evander Kane was then 10 minutes later after uploading it ruled out of game one, so that became the video instead. But no, what we're going to see tonight is the fact that Evander Kane is the Oilers' largest wild card in this playoff run, and if he truly comes in and dominates for us, that changes everything. And you know as well as I do, whether you want to say Kane is a liability or Kane is an asset, whatever, I don't care what you think about Evander Kane, he is a difference maker. That's straight up and down the only words you can use to say out there. Whether it makes a good difference or a bad difference, he makes a difference. And the physical ability of Evander Kane is something that the Oilers just don't have amongst anyone else. Yeah, Podkolzin fills that role, but I mean, Podkolzin one-punched a guy and thought he was the toughest guy on the planet for about 4 weeks. But unfortunately, that's not Vasily Podkolzin's game. He's a guy who gets into the corners and turns over pucks because he's physical, whereas Kane is a menace. Like, he will destroy you physically. He will destroy you with scoring goals. He will destroy you mentally by intimidating and agitating you. He does everything every other player on this Oilers team does in the physical and mental game. He does it all in one package and does it oh so well. Yeah, he gets penalized for it, but you can't cross the line and not expect a penalty or two your way once in a while. So for Evander Kane, he's the guy that is going to go out there and change the game as long as he's good to go. And if we see that in the first period, this is going to be one of the most wild Oilers games. You thought game one was wild. It will be absolutely bonkers in period number 2 and 3 as the LA Kings adjust to having to face Evander Kane fully healthy, I think for the first time since 22, and we know what Kane did in those 22 playoffs. If he comes back even at 80% of that, that is going to be unbelievable for the Edmonton Oilers. Like I said, John Klingberg pretty much a non-factor for the Oilers in this game. Like, I mean, Josh Brown's been worse, but I mean, Klingberg's not better, if that makes sense. Really? What? You're not gaining anything here, there, or the other place. It's just a different body because Klingberg's healthy, and I guess he's earned it. So Klingberg will draw back in as well if you're just joining. But Evander Kane, the big story here, off the LTIR, missed all of, well, pretty much everything since if since what um, game two, I think, of the Stanley Cup final last year. So Evander Kane coming back all this time later, and hopefully, like I said, 80% of 2022 playoff Evander Kane is going to propel the Edmonton Oilers so long as they can get a save once a game from Skinner all the way to the Stanley Cup. Let me tell you, that is a game-changing move from the Oilers if that's what they get. But temper the expectations, calm down a little bit here, stop getting all excited until you see the results. That's kind of what we saw in game one, right? You know, the Oilers were going to have a disaster class of a game, and it was almost to a T the Edmonton Oilers in game one, specifically speaking about the past 7, 8, 9 series the Oilers have played, dating back to 22-23. So yeah, that's where we're at currently as we get set up for what will be game number 2 against LA. I think if you're going to remove the Kane and Klingberg situation here and just talk about the Oilers for a moment, is LA has a goaltender, Darcy Kemper, who's looked for most of the season pretty impeccable. He's been pretty solid and been a guy that has a lot riding on him compared to the LA Kings goaltending of past to really show up here and be a difference maker for LA, as previous goaltending's failed year in, year out. What I would expect here for Mr. Darcy Kemper is the armor's been cracked by the Oilers quite heavily in the last 20 minutes and 5 seconds of play in game one. If the Kings are to have any hope in this series, they are going to need a two or less goal performance from Darcy Kemper tonight, in which he just piles up saves 40 plus against the Oilers. Just frustrates the heck out of the Oilers, because if he doesn't and the Oilers are able to stay in the fight all night long or get into the fight late like they did in game one, even if the Oilers go down 2-0 here tonight, it'll be ugly for the LA Kings from there on out. So that's where we're at right now. I guess to mention, friends, as well, this is something I forgot to mention. Jeff Skinner comes out for Evander Kane. I think if you're going to tell me Evander Kane comes in 80% of 2022 playoff Evander Kane to replace Jeff Skinner, I'm going to take that every single turn of events we get, right? If Evander Kane at 80% of 2022's playoffs comes in for Jeff Skinner, that's a win every time. Again, you're just sleeping on Evander Kane if I make that statement and it's true. So we'll see what happens here, but game 2 gets underway about 8:30 again tonight, so stay tuned. It'll be a late night again. Calgary's going to be rocking for the Oilers tonight. Yeah, I'm not going to claim that too loudly because I don't want to get beat up at the bar, but I think a lot of Oilers fans will be making their way out here down south to the bars tonight and enjoying it. I know I will be, so friends, enjoy it. Have a good time. Hopefully tonight I get the post-game short right, and we're talking about a 1-1 series, playing La Bamba and all the good things. Thanks for being aboard, friends. Evander Kane one more time in the lineup for Jeff Skinner. John Klingberg draws in for Josh Brown. The Oilers assembling the Avengers here as the health situation gets better and better by the game, as we claimed it would be by the start of these playoffs. So thanks for being aboard. I am up on out of here.